Hey guys, welcome back to Critical Flick. Today I'm reviewing Lou, now streaming on Netflix. So Lou is a new action thriller film and it stars Allison Janney as the character Lou, and she's this older woman who's living in this North Pacific town, and she obviously has something hidden in her past. Quickly things start to escalate because the character Hannah, played by Jurnee Smollett, her daughter is abducted by her father, and things start to throw into this big action chase that's going through this North Pacific forest. It happens during a storm, and I really feel like that adds an element to the movie. On its face, when it first started, I felt like it was kind of going to be like a generic action thriller, like we've seen plenty of these movies before, but I think the atmosphere, the setting, and actually the third act of the film is something that elevates it just a little bit. Cinematography actually is really good looking. It was filmed in Vancouver, so it has that dark, gloomy Pacific Northwest look to it. Like I said, it's during a storm, so it's just like that damp, wet, unforgiving atmosphere. And I think that makes the movie that much more interesting because the characters have to fight not against just trying to get back their child and track down this bad guy, but they're fighting against the elements as well, because it's one of those things where the storm is kind of almost its own character. It's like this over looming thing, and it follows them along the story, and as the story moves along, the storm kind of changes with that. Logan Marshall Green plays the bad guy in this movie. He's the father of the girl that's abducted, and there's a twist with his character. I think he did a solid job. I do think things shift for him in the third act. I think everybody in this movie gets exponentially better in the third act of the film because it has a big twist to it. And I think the twist is actually really well earned. I didn't see it coming. It was a big surprise, and I think it helps the movie. Sometimes you have twists in film that they're really predictable. There's a lot of movies I've seen recently where I kind of just know the twist is coming. It doesn't really add anything to the movie, but I think this one actually does shift it up just a little bit. It's one of the things that I actually really like about the movie. Like I said, the performances I think are elevated by that twist, and the relationships and the character building really comes into play because of it. This movie shifts from being, like I said, a more conventional action thriller to almost like a family drama at the end, and it really brings out a lot of emotion. It makes the stakes that much higher for the characters because in the beginning, I don't really know it's there. It's kind of a generic story, and then it shifts, and I think that was a really good decision by the directors and the writers involved in this one. Allison Janney is really the standout in this one. I feel like Jurnee Smollett's really good in it, but she doesn't have a lot to do. I've liked her in a lot of the movies she's done, but this one, she's still solid, but she's a little less screen time. Allison Janney, I feel like the way her character is written from being... You realize really early on in the movie that she's kind of like this undercover CIA agent. She was formerly a CIA agent, and she's kind of trying to get, past that, trying to retire, kind of hide away from the world. She's kind of thrown back into this action adventure, and I think she does a good job. I didn't know to expect from her being like this action character, but there's some really good fight scenes. There's a fight scene in the beginning of the movie that takes place in a cabin that I was not expecting to be as brutal and as intense as it was. And it's really well choreographed. There's a few along the way, but I think that one stands out. Her character going from this kind of mysterious older woman to this action hero to a very emotional person with these ties. Someone that's really struggling to get past not just their professional past and what goes along with that being in the CIA, but their own personal past and her family. So I really like the way they decided to go with the story. So if I were to rate Lou, I would give it a 7 out of 10. It was better than I expected. When it first started, I thought it was going to be a more generic story, but like I said, I like the twist involved in it. I like the writing, and I think it elevates the acting because they're given some pretty emotional things to work with in the third act, and I think that is one of the things that makes it a little bit better than what I would have expected it to be. So if you checked out Lou, let me know what you thought about it. Did you enjoy it? Did you not like it? I always love to hear your opinions. Leave those down in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe, and see you guys next time.